What's up, everyone? Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Today is May 8th, 2023 at 1:32 p.m. Eastern Time. So, welcome to my new channel. This channel was created to archive and document my new trading journey. I'm currently subscribed to a Topstep Trading Combine. $100,000 account. Just a little bit of a story behind that is prior to setting up this new YouTube channel, I went through some trials and tribulations of testing out different platforms and whatnot through Topstep, and went through NinjaTrader, Quant Tower, and ultimately ended up at Tradingview. Then the next obstacle from there was to decide what platform to integrate it in. So after a few tests, we decided to integrate into Tradingview just to kind of eliminate the superfluous of trading, to minimize the charts and whatnot. The cool thing about Tradingview is that I don't have to be toggling back and forth between charts. My charts primarily are used within Tradingview, and so that allowed me to set up hotkeys, have everything aesthetically ready for the way I like to present things. So yeah, a little bit about this stream as well is that I'll be streaming Monday through Thursday from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Now I will be starting a little bit early just to kind of get things warmed up and ready to go. And there may be some things that happen a little bit prior to 2 o'clock. But this is focusing on ICT's silver bullet entry method, which occurs from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I chose not to stream on Fridays, just because I like to allow myself a long weekend kind of to regenerate and whatnot. So I wouldn't expect there to be a lot of tradings on Friday. Now I may throw one in every once in a while just to, if I see something or anticipate something. But other than that, I wouldn't expect for that to happen on Fridays. Now, on non-farm payroll and little events that happen, I don't know if I will stream during those days because I don't like to participate within those times. But if there is or something, don't expect a lot of activity during those days, but expect for me to come in a little bit before. But I'll throw some a tweet or an Instagram or whatever it may be, whatever social platforms we decide to use. We'll throw a notification out there for those of you that decide to follow, so that way we can get everybody on the same page. So a little bit of history on myself, so that everybody understands what to expect on this new channel and whatnot. So my trading journey started in 2018. I became very interested in the stock market, and one of the first things that I came across one of the first financial instrument or stocks, I may say, that I was interested in was cannabis stocks. So in 2018, those of you that are aware, the Canadian government and the US government were going back and forth whether or not to legalize marijuana at that time. And I thought it was an excellent opportunity to kind of have for one may say, a first mover advantage, and to, risk that, risk to invest in that market to kind of reap the rewards of a newly found market, right? That happened, I guess, 2 to 3 months, and I was quickly turned off by the whole entire movement just because there was not enough regulatory clarity during that time. But funny enough about regulatory clarity, I was sucked into the entire crypto movement. Now, for those of you that know, there's way more less regulatory clarity in that market. But for whatever reason, I believed in the market and, saw a lot of the volatility that was occurring during that time. I mean, still to this day happens, but during that time specifically, just because everything was new to me, I was interested in the volatility. And so I was one of those few that, or one of the many that decided to, hey, there's a lot of market volatility, why not jump into the market and take advantage and reap the rewards of the volatility that was presenting itself? Well, there's a good thing and a bad thing about that, right? The good thing is, yes, volatility presents great opportunities for market entries. But as a beginner, that can go down south really quick. And so, as I was entering these markets, I thought I knew what I was doing. I was hot-headed, new, watched a couple of YouTube videos and thought I was an expert, and quickly realized that it was a lot harder than what I anticipated. Well, I decided, well, okay, if people do this for a living, then I can obviously, educate myself a little bit more and learn what I'm doing wrong, right? So I started researching more on YouTube. It's just kind of like find other influencers, other educators and whatnot that were teaching something that I didn't know. And I quickly learned or came across some harmonic patterns, Elliott waves, trend lines, and all that. And every time that I would find something new, I thought it was the next best thing. Well, because of that, I was entering the market and putting real money into this. And I was always finding myself on the negative side of things. Now, there were up and downs. There were some wins. But for the most part, there were a lot of losses. And those losses, I mean, obviously, it negatively affected my stance on things, right? Lost thousands of dollars, and it didn't help that I didn't know the portion of what many argue today is the most important thing is psychology. And because I was hot-headed and determined and biased and thought I knew everything of what I knew, I would double my position or just deposit more money, go into it. And every time, it just worked against me, right? So there was a period of time that I said, enough of this gambling, done with this, trading, crypto, everything. It's not for me. So a good 4, 5, 6 months went by. I didn't want anything to do with the markets. I was done with it. I cashed in, and I said, this is probably not for me, and it's time to go on. Well, by the end of that 5 to 6 month period, as hard-headed as I am, I came back. But this time I said, I'm going to go into something a little bit more reliable, something that's been around for a while. Maybe there's more stability within that, right? And so I started researching more about Forex and indices, and that on itself led me to a whole another realm, right? Because if you're not aware, there's different, how can I explain this? It's a different characters that live within these industries, right? From what I have observed, the crypto industry seems to be a little bit more on the younger side, fast tracked and whatnot. Whereas in the indice and Forex markets seem to be a little bit more mature in their ways. Now you do have some exceptions here and there, but for the most part, it was different players that were being introduced to myself. And so in 2020, fast forward a little bit, 2020, I came across ICT. Now, from my first introduction to ICT, I came across him through YouTube. I was a little skeptical, right? Just keep in mind, I was like a hurt fish trying to talk to another shark out there. And I was cautiously navigating around his concepts just because I was afraid to get hurt again, right? And I mean, we're not talking about small amounts of money here, we're talking about large. So, I mean, frantically, I was a little cautious. Now, I decided to dive a little deeper into his concepts and whatnot for whatever reason. And I found out really quick that, it was in the same tune. It was in the same, I guess, wavelength, if you might want to say. And it was, it seemed right. But because I was very cautious, I was kind of, experimenting with other educators and whatnot. And every single time I would come back to ICT and just continue to watch videos. Now, many would argue that it would be coincidence, but I don't think it was quite on the coincidence side of things, because as I was learning, I was one of those students that would, watch a couple of his videos and then go and trade, right? The things that he says not to do. And what was happening is that at first I was losing, and then after a few months I began to see a difference, right? The big difference is that after a few months to almost a year, I became a student that was breaking even. And that was a quantum leap, or an exponential leap from what I had previously experienced. And the reason that being is because, keep in mind that I was always on the negative side of things. I was always losing. There was never a time that I was really on the winning side of things. And to be on a break-even point, I think it was eye-opening. It was something that I had never experienced before, right? And I wasn't talking about once or twice. It was a consistent break-even. Plus or minus a couple $dollars here and there, but for the most part, it was within a break-even range. And that's when I started believing a little bit more. So as I began to submerge myself within his concepts, I then believed that there was more to, things that he would discuss as the order block, the fair value gap, the volume imbalances and whatnot, and so forth, right? There's a lot of these concepts that everybody knows of. But I was finding myself to focus on one thing. Like, oh yes, the fair value gap is like the best thing that I've ever seen or heard of before. And, it was the next, in my possession, gold, right? But what I didn't understand at the time is that I kind of needed to know a little bit of everything just to kind of understand how these how these concepts were all tying together, right? So I would sit there, watch a video, sit there, watch it again, watch a whole series, come back to the old video, and I would realize that I would always be missing something or learning something new from an old video, right? And I would go through my notes and realize that it was there all along. It just wasn't being soaked in because there's so much information that he gives out there, right? So anyways, enough of that whole ICT talk, but I do appreciate him as an educator, and he has been an influence on me very drastically, right? And he still is, and still to this day I think that he's one of the best people out there, if not the best. But anyways, everybody has their own opinion, whatever. So coming back to this channel, I think that it's not so much about educating people and teaching people how these concepts are driven, because I'll allow that to be taught by ICT himself, because there's no one better than himself teaching that, right? But what I went and thought that was a great idea for this channel was that to actually show somebody what it is to become a day trader. I think it's important, right? Because as I was going through this journey by myself, I didn't have a lot of people to reference me to other things and whatnot. I mean, online communities are good, but sometimes you don't understand what it takes to be a day trader. People want to become a day trader, but they don't know what a day trader does on a daily basis. Do they know what it feels like to have sweaty palms, to begin to sweat, have their heart race, to feel nervous, anxiety? Do people express that? And what I find most amusing about all this is that there's a lot of people out there that really don't show the positive and the negative side of things, right? And I think that is extremely important, right? So me, as a beginner trader that is barely showing some signs of positive gains on a consistent basis, I think that it's important for people to understand that there's a negative and positive side of things, right? And when I sat there and decided to make a YouTube channel, I knew immediately that there was going to be an amount of intimidation. But if I can go in there and just kind of eliminate the whole thought that one person may be looking at me or watching this channel, whatever it may be, and just focus on what's important, not worry about chat boxes and all that other garbage that people like to troll on, I think that would be essential to show people what it's like to be a day trader. I'm going to go through and I'm not going to, I'm not going to educate people on what should or should not be done during the market. I'm just going to go in there and express what I think I see. using ICT concepts. And there won't be much talking sometimes. I mean, sometimes the stream will go for the full entire hour and 30 minutes or hour or whatever it may be. But there'll be some times that, maybe I'll express to you guys that I feel a little nervous at the time. And I shouldn't be participating in the market. Or there may be a day where I reach my profit goal 15 minutes in, and I wrap it up because that's all I needed for the day. No more, no less, right? So that's the idea, right? Is to show you what it's like to go through this. Now, there was an important discussion that I had within myself is whether or not I should do the morning session or the PM session. And there's one thing that you guys have to understand is that in the morning, there's a lot of movement within our house. People are getting ready, in and out, things are moving, and I didn't think it was quite appropriate to have all those distractions behind or within the distance so I'll be trading the morning sessions, but I just won't be broadcasting those. Now, in the near future, whatever it may be, if the opportunity presents itself, yes, I will start to broadcast the morning sessions. But as of right now, I am entirely focused on the PM session, which again is Monday through Thursday, 2 through 3 p.m. Eastern Time, New York time. Right. For those of you that are interested in following me and maybe see what it is to be a day trader, whether I succeed or I fail, I think that you should like and subscribe to this video, and so that way we can all learn together, right? I mean, that's the whole journey, is not to work against each other, but to work together and to learn from each other. There's some of you that are always exposed to those people that want you to, buy a I don't know, one of those subscriptions, and next day you'll have a Lamborghini or whatnot. But that's not what you're gonna get here. You're gonna get a real opportunity to see what it's like, right? So, with that being said, welcome to Elemental Node, and let's learn together, right? So, now that all that is aside, we have the E-mini S&P in front of us. The way I typically run through things is I have 1 minute chart, 5 and the 15. Now I will cycle through other things as I see them, but just for you guys to know, I do have other charts on my other screens where I monitor the 1 hour, 4 hour, daily and weekly, and the other markets, which is the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P, and then I also monitor the pound and the euro and the dollar, right? Pretty typical stuff that ICT speaks of all the time. Now that we're within that 2 hour session, let's see how our first stream goes. So let's see what we have here. So we're currently trading within a range. Let me see here. All right. So from the 9:30 open, looks like we're kind of stuck within a range from our midnight open on Monday the 8th. Well, from the 7th to the 8th, from midnight open, traded up, Made a high. Traded down. All right, cool. So those of you are immediately going to notice that my account balance is $102,023.38. Well, that's because as I was going and testing out these different platforms, I was actually opening up these accounts and trading them. So I gave myself a little bit of a cushion because I understand that there's going to be a lot of intimidation during these streams. And, it may be that I still go negative on this, but it doesn't really matter. The whole idea is to have truth and transparency behind all these streams, right? So, right. So let's focus on this a little bit. So nothing in here looks attractive to me. Right, this looks very choppy. Now earlier this AM was focusing on this imbalance on the 5-minute chart, and I lost a little bit of money just because stopped me out on a trade down. I thought it was a head into an optimum trade entry, which if you see here, fell short of it, but nonetheless got stopped out. It was like a negative $102 or something like that. It wasn't too bad, but I got out of it just because I felt uncomfortable with the position. Now, another thing that I was noticing too is on the 1 hour, I thought we were going to go and fill this imbalance out. Thought this was a break in market structure, and we were going to tap in here, fill in this fair value gap at that time, and continue downward. That was another play that I was looking out for, but it didn't. It goes parallel with what I was saying this morning, or about this morning. It's very choppy. Nothing here makes sense to me. I don't even like the way these candles look. They're very fragmented. Now we have been going sideways on the 4-hour chart. As well. Put this up here one time. Let's see, as soon as we took out this sell side liquidity, and an immediate reaction to that, I guess that's what we're reacting to right now. But I'm not a big fan of this market structure. So we'll mark that as sell side liquidity. Now we are trading within a premium of this range, what I would consider a range. So I would be favoring a short right now. But there's nothing here that offers a short entry. Now I apologize if the music is competing with my voice. I just think that viewers would appreciate a little bit of music while we analyze these charts, rather than it be an awkwardness of silence. Right, so as we go forward, we'll tweak that a bit to optimize the experience. A bit of displacement to the downside at a premium, like that. See if we can get an entry to get a short. Use this to get my 50%. Not quite there yet. I'd like it to return up here. Going down. Stop would be up here. A little bit. Looks like it's gonna run without us. I'm gonna look for like a 5 handle stop loss. $50, $54, $55. Let's go ahead and a little hesitant to enter there. It's a little bit, man. There it goes. All right, so let's see what it does. let's not be too jumpy on the situation. It is our first live stream for so let's just keep it on the low right now. There's our downward displacement. Alright, this is exciting. So I was looking for a little bit of an entry there, but it looks like it didn't quite meet our expectation. So now again, there's going to be times that we miss things, right? Nobody's ever perfect, but it's better to be safe than sorry, right? But that's really nice displacement towards the downside. That's what you want to see. Now, a lesson that I learned fairly recently is that you don't want to get what people describe as FOMO, fear of missing out. Just because sometimes it may work against you. Most times, then, right? So, for instance, this move that just went down on us. I used to get in there as it was moving down, just chasing price downward. And what I discovered is that it was always bouncing back and slapping me in the face, right? Now, if it would have returned back within this fair value gap, sure, I would have taken the trade. I mean, right now with you guys, but it's important that you have a strategy rather than reacting to something that's happening. You don't want to go in there without a strategy, right? You don't want to go in there, place an order, and then realize that you're going to put your stop loss at 15 handles when initially you went in there going in that you were going to place a 5 handle stop loss, right? So you gotta anticipate things and treat every trade with caution as if it was your last, right? And that's something that I learned fairly recently. You don't want to react to things. So there will be times that, depending if there's a really good order flow towards one direction, you'll see me entering on what I believe is the change of the state of delivery, and or enter on order blocks when a trend is strong towards the downside or the upside. But as of right now, something like this, I mean, I don't trust it, just because, I mean, one, on the higher time frame, you may be feeling an imbalance, right? I don't know if it's going to bounce up from here or if it's going to continue downward. Now, my assumption would be that we would continue downward. but I don't know yet. I really don't know that. We may be bouncing up in here for till the next day, right? And it's already taken out sell side liquidity again, right? So what do we have here? Some more sell side liquidity. I'm gonna delete this guy. And we're bouncing off of it. Reacting really well to this sell side liquidity. "15-minute broke market structure." But is it grabbing liquidity to go up? I don't know. Alright, so we have a possible imbalance. Depending if this closes, mark it right there. See how that closes. We have an imbalance at 4145.50 through 4145.25 on the 1 minute chart. Looks like we're 50%. I want to keep an eye on this, see how we trade within this range. Imbalance covered. Got another possible imbalance. Now, like ICT mentions, these imbalances, I believe, act as a magnet. So the reason I highlight them is because I want to see certain price levels react to those imbalances. Now, from my experience, it's more favorable for it to react on a higher time frame than it is lower. But I still want to monitor them as they occur. They might present great entry opportunities, great reversal opportunities. I don't know. I just want to see how those specific levels react. So currently we have another imbalance, which was the same as before, prior, is the 4145.50 and 4145.25. Still monitoring this range. Now, is this an order block? These two up candles? I don't know. Let's mark them. So as of right now, above this white line would be a premium on the 1 minute. So we are currently approaching what we believe is the order block. These two consecutive up close candles prior to displacement downward, which broke a market structure. So prices appears to be repricing, and it just hit what we think is a order block. I don't know. As of right now, I am not expecting any kind of move personally. Now, whether it does it or not, I don't know. But I don't see anything in here that gets me completely excited except for the repricing to the fair value gap that we had initially highlighted. But is there an entry for me there? No. No, absolutely not. Not as of right now. Now, if we start to trade, or depending how we trade above that fair value gap, then maybe. But as of right now, nothing. We're still in a premium, keep in mind. A premium on the lower time frames. Okay, so let's keep an eye up here. What is that price level? That high is 4154.75. Now, if I were to change my bias on this, I would like for this candle, this down candle that's developing at the moment, I would like it to close above that fair value gap and then kind of present an entry for me to long. But as of right now, there's nothing here, right? I'm going to take this guy out. Look at the 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart looks, I don't like that, that's for sure. Did we take out liquidity to move upward? But, I mean, look at that. I don't like that at all. So my eye is now up here. Let's see how we trade at this gap. Still trading at a premium until proven otherwise. So we see that buy side liquidity. Let's see if it wants to take it out. Right at, what was that level again? That level was at, the high is 4154.75. Take out this level. Now, if it were to start trading aggressively to the upside, I would anticipate it to take out 4169.50. That's if it takes it out aggressively. But as of right now, still a premium within the lower time frame. I'm going to make a reference for a 5-handle stop loss. Like to put these guys out there just to have a good reference. So 41.50, 41.45. And I have a template set up for 5-handle, and that will be my reference to a 5-handle stop loss. My visual reference, right? Make this a little wider so it could show better on higher time frames. There you go. Now, does that fair value gap want to act as support? I don't know. In order for it to validate as support, I would want to see displacement upward, breaking that small little range, and displacing, creating a fair value gap. And then I would enter somewhere in there to take out that liquidity up there, but right now there's nothing. Now we're at 30 minutes into the session, about halfway. And we currently have no trades. Alright, so is this our displacement upward? Maybe, possibly. It's large. And keep in mind, folks, that this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. I am a beginner trader, is what I would consider myself. So if you're looking for financial advice, please seek it with a professional. Keep in mind that I am learning a lot of these concepts with you guys as well. So don't take it to heart, guys. Now, that's not something I like, but here we get a little imbalance, top of the range, I saw liquidity, sure, but not good for me. Right, a little long to get this buy side liquidity out, but I don't know if it's gonna take it out or not. Now I believe we're trading at trading at an old gap that was created on, that I have highlighted for whatever reason, on Monday, April 17th at 14:30 UTC time. That's exactly where we're trading right now. Now that's on my other charts, my other screens, my other monitors. But I don't think that's highly critical at the moment. But we are trading within that gap on the lower end of that at 154, 41.54. The high of that gap is coming in at 4160.75. Oh man, that just looks messy. And it looks like we have a potential, not formed yet, potential volume imbalance on the 15-minute chart. So we need to keep an eye on that. I'll mark it if it closes. Still trading at a premium on the 5 and 1 minute chart. Now we do have a small little gap on the 15-minute chart right up here, which is complementing the 5-minute gap. This is our level to watch. 4154.75. As previously mentioned, I would have liked to see it displace upward, but all this choppiness in here, no. No thank you. Have that in volume imbalance at 41.53 and 41.52.75. Still open on 1 minute chart. Alright, we just took out the buy side liquidity. Still no entry for my liking. Now, what I would like to see happen, this would be an interesting move, is it to trade up to this level. What is that? I would like to see it trade and reject dramatically from the 4156.50 level. But that's asking for a lot, I guess. So right now we traded down to the imbalance previously mentioned. After taking out buy side, I would like to see, I don't know, break of market structure, but it may be a lot to ask for too. So let's see. As of right now, I'm feeling no emotion. There's no trades. Nothing that piques my interest. So I am not a participant in this market as of right now. As it looks like our volume imbalance is giving us some action. All right, that's pretty good. Little displacement. Does it hold? All right, cool. 15-second. Let's see how it trades here. I'd like to sustain. Let's see, the issue here is, well, I don't know, is that I'm anticipating for it to, if it goes higher, to trade into this magenta level that it's about to approach. But since I'm expecting a heavy reaction from there, I'm a little cautious, right? Because we're still trading within that that premium, right? So from this low to that high, we're in a premium potential breaker, I want to say. So my risk reward is it's not in my favor. See, so here it is going to go up. I want to see it go up from this level. But I'm not confident in that. Well, I should say not like an exciting entry with this hovering above. All right, we're trading about 2:45 p.m. about 3/4 through our session. Still no entries. So as previously stated, our volume imbalance held as support, and currently we're seeing if price wants to drive up, but it's not looking good at the moment. That doesn't look good. For longs. Might be wrong, but we're trading within a very suspicious area. So I'm going to take out these two references. To me, I would define all this mumbo jumbo as low probability. I don't see anything in here that grabs my attention. Do we want to go up here? Let's watch. Okay, we're approaching our anticipated level. Let's see how it reacts. I'm going to delete these guys so you can see. Delete the grading. Let's keep an eye on this level right here. That over here. There's our level. So let's see how we react to this level. Currently trading within the premium of the 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart. Now I would like to see this price area act as a wall, right? Just immediate reaction, but as of right now, nothing. And if there's nothing, there's no entry. If structure is not clear, there's no entry. We're just monitoring price action. I'm gonna stretch that. I don't think this candle, this little doji firefly thing works, whatever you call it. This imbalance right here, I prefer the imbalance to be up there. Now see, that's starting to see, I mean, we're starting to see a good reaction to that, but that's still, it would have to displace and break market structure, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff it has to go through, a lot of work. I don't want to see price go back to and above 4157.50. I just want to see it either reject or cascade down. But as of right now, price to me, the way it's trading, a little lethargic until proven otherwise. 15-second chart. This just looks messy. 15-second chart, yeah. Can price react? Nice little reaction. Tiny reaction. Really nothing substantial. Now we're 5 minutes under the hour, guys. So we'll be ending soon. Still nothing yet. Do the volume imbalances want to act like a magnet? That's a good question. So before we close out, wanted to mention, typically if there has not been, like today, a opportunity for me to enter the market and it's coming close to the end of the session, I will be very cautious in entering. Because I'm trading with Topstep, they have the 4:10 Eastern Time cutoff. And so I want to give myself a good cushion of time for me to be able to enter and hold a position. I'm not a fan of holding positions for more than an hour, especially if it's working against me. The longest I would like to hold a position would be 30 minutes, right? So if something like that is occurring, I'll just, sit on my hands and bite the bullet, right? I won't take a move or a position. Well, guys, that's going to conclude our session for today, and I think we can consider this a successful first live stream. For those of you that haven't already, please like and subscribe, and tune in every Monday through Thursday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Just keep in mind that I will be starting a little bit prior to that 2 p.m. just to kind of get everything warmed up, get you into the loop of what I've been thinking about earlier in the day and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to this and seeing where this all takes us. So hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, see ya.